This particular person who wanted me to do this altar for him had actually met him originally about 2 years ago during an art hop in Fresno, California. He decided that what he wanted me to do for him was a altar. He liked my use of color, and I think he also liked the fact that I dealt with the spiritual world. It's a physical thing that you go up to, but it's really about ritual. You know, it's about ritual, and the altar, in my opinion, is really the person. The physical altar is just something to remind you that, I don't know, you're in that space, you're in that space where you can go to your sense of calm or your sense of prayer or meditation, whatever it is you do at your altar. So it made sense to me to go ahead and add shelves to it so that it was as if one can go to different levels. Because I know that in my own personal spiritual walk, there has been levels. There has been times when I was in one space, and then you know, based on whatever happens to you, or at least for me, based on whatever happened to me, that it was time for me to move on to another space and to experience either more or less of something. I knew that somehow I wanted to put what most people think of as the Star of David, but I think of it as it also is something that shows up in India. It also has shown up in ancient Kemet. It's shown up even prior to that in terms of that upside down and right side up triangle that intersect. And it's a sacred symbol to me because it is the masculine and the feminine together, and also it is a symbol of balance. Before even taking the straight edge and drawing out the star, what is drawn before that is just circles. And you start off with one circle, and I used a compass to do it. And you start off with one circle, and then at any point on the next circle, keeping the compass at the same distance, you go ahead and you make another circle. And then where those two intersect, you go from any point on that, and then you keep continuously drawing these circles, and what you end up is with something that looks like a flower, like a circular flower. That particular sequence will show up in every organism that has life, because this is the way cells start out. You start out with one, then it continues to multiply, and they multiply, and they multiply, and they multiply. Even the way many plants grow will often take on that same sort of sequence. And then atoms. Atoms have that basic structure that looks like the stars when they come together. And atoms are 99.9% space, so that's just a trip to me. You begin to wonder, well, how much of the world really is solid if an atom is 99.9% space. When I use metallic, especially metallic gold, that's what I'm thinking about, is that whole idea of alchemy. And what does it mean to transform the self? What does it mean to transform one's own body? And every metal that exists out there in the world, we have on some level in our bodies. And it is believed by many that depending on how you focus it, you can increase the level that you might need to improve your health, or decrease one that may be too prolific in the body. So as I said, one of the main things that I wanted to incorporate into this was the 4 elements. And so to represent air, I wanted to add feathers. And I like peacock feathers, so I decided to add those. The other element of water that I wanted to bring in was with the cowrie shells. Mirror becomes incredibly important because mirror is about, and that'll appear on a lot of my work, including some of my garments, because mirrors are, you see yourself, but at the same time you see the world, and at the same time you see yourself seeing the world. So it's like a reflection of self. Everything is about, it really does come back to the self, because really the only thing we can control in life is ourself. Working on this piece was definitely pleasurable in the sense that I've given it the life that I could give it. I've, in a sense, birthed the piece, and it made it come to life. And then knew that in birthing it that I was going to be giving it to someone else. And keeping that in mind, that it was going to go to someone else, I knew that it was important to leave like that one shelf open, or so that they could have the freedom to really take it and make it their own piece. Because that's the point, really, of an altar, is for it to be your own space for you to go to.